Welcome to the How to Entrepreneur YouTube channel, where we talk about how to start and grow businesses from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. My name is Tiffany Domena, and today we're joined by Jesse Hopwood, and we'll be talking about how to scale your business with brand deals and sponsorships. So I'm really excited about this topic. I know this is an area that you can stack onto other revenue models like affiliate marketing or e-commerce or other things. So I think this will be really helpful if you are looking for opportunities to scale your business and to monetize and add more revenue streams. So first, I want to start by introducing you to Jesse Hopwood. And how long have you been in business?
I started roughly 2015 as a contractor to the company that I'd previously worked for, so roughly 5 years.
Okay. And so did you start out with brand deals and sponsorships, or what business models have you done before?
Well, the journey was a little unique for me. I started out working in digital marketing as a sales guy, business to business, BDM, business development manager. And I moved over to Japan for a while, and they didn't want to lose me as a salesman, so they made a deal whereby I would run my own business as a contractor, a satellite contractor from Japan, still selling to the same market, and I kept that job that way. Around about that time is when I joined the Wealthy Affiliate platform and started setting up my own small side hustle as well, which eventually blossomed to the point where I ended up taking over a company from one of my better clients, which is the business that I'm running now.
Very cool. So were you doing digital marketing, or you were selling the digital marketing services? And was it like SEO, or was it paid ads, or what were you doing in digital marketing?
Paid listings and advertisings for the B2B market. So I started off in franchising, which is where companies like, say, for example, Hungry Jack's, what do you call it, Burger King, or McDonald's, or
Oh, you
any of
call it
those
Hungry
franchise.
Jack?
Yeah, there was an interesting legal dispute a couple of decades ago in Australia, so we couldn't use Burger King at first.
Oh, wow.
But so they are always looking for people to buy their franchises. And so I was working for Australia's main platform for buying and selling franchises within Australia and New Zealand. So I was selling those services in Australia.
That is so cool. I watch entrepreneur.com, and it seems that they sell franchises from their site. I think that, I don't know if that can be worked as an affiliate thing, but that's a cool niche.
It gets complex.
Mm,
That wouldn't have been one that I could have tackled on my own.
okay.
So while I had that entire organization supporting me, loved it.
Wow. That's a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah, that one could go for years.
So right now you're in Australia. It looks sunny there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful summer morning in Sydney.
Wow. Okay. So you said you started out doing sales of digital marketing services, and then you joined Wealthy Affiliate. Did you start doing affiliate marketing from there, or?
I did.
Okay.
I actually set up a website based on beer and brewing, which is a hobby of mine and sometimes a business of mine, and use that as the kind of practice to build my WordPress foundations and kind of learn about how the behind the scenes stuff works on web development and design. It took I think it was about 4 or 5 months before I started making my first affiliate commissions through that website. So that's where I had this kind of penny drop moment of, okay, this works, and started
Yeah,
becoming more aggressive with my own ventures in digital marketing.
very cool. So did you continue with affiliate marketing, or do you still
I
do
did for a
affiliate
while.
marketing?
I did for a while, but I started getting quicker wins through freelancing. So I was doing that to support
Yeah.
myself so that I could have that income whilst building out the affiliate marketing. And it was through there that I met the previous owners of my current company. And a couple of years later, 2 or 3 years later ended up actually switching, like putting all my eggs in that basket. So currently not doing anything with affiliate marketing, but working on automating my current business so that I can go back to affiliate marketing.
Yeah. So did you take the skills from multi-affiliate to apply it to freelancing? So,
Absolutely.
okay, very cool.
It was a
Very cool.
combination of the back end stuff I learned at Wealthy Affiliate,
Uh-huh.
combined with the existing sales and B2B skills that I already had.
Yeah, I bet that's a good combination.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Okay. So, when you came to Wealthy Affiliate at that time, you had sales expertise. You kind of knew that digital marketing works because you saw it working for the business you were working for. But you mentioned that you had some reservations about whether or not it will work on your brewing site. So how did you overcome those reservations?
Just keep writing. That's the only thing I could say. If you're concerned, just keep writing.
Okay, so you believed it enough to put the work in.
Absolutely. So there was a moment when I'd finished all of the basic training I could find on the Wealthy Affiliate platform
Uh-huh.
and hadn't made a sale yet. And at that point, I thought, well, I've done everything. Where's the income? Um, but I sort of figured at that point, it must just be about replicating the process and continuing. So I kept, tweaking everything for conversions and just kept putting out content, keep the traffic flowing. And then quite soon after that first commission, I started getting more commissions. And actually, there was a piece I think I heard from yourself about large ticket items.
Yeah.
Uh, and I found quite fast that the most expensive items that I'd reviewed were the ones that were selling the best, or the ones that were giving me the most frequent commissions and also the highest commissions.
Yeah, I remember you had some really good insight about high ticket versus low ticket. And I know we had a conversation about how a lot of people feel very comfortable with low ticket items like books or doing reviews on a book or something like that. But you can only make change for a commission with that. But you mentioned that higher ticket physical products is something you really um, found as a gold mine for your affiliate marketing experience. So, how did you come to find that?
It was after I suppose it was a combination of things. It was an idea I already had brewing in the back of my mind that you don't really need a review on a pencil. You just go and buy one.
Right,
Um, Whereas if you're going to purchase a new refrigerator, you want to do your homework and find out which is the best one for the money I have available.
right.
So I found that with those high ticket items, when I'd first written reviews, they didn't really do anything until I started writing further pieces of information that would then link back to those reviews and create something of a funnel. And that's
Right.
where I started to realize that, of course, this is what people are looking for. I was getting lots of traffic to pages for anything to do with those high ticket items, which
Okay.
were all in one brewing systems, if you're interested. So with price tags around the sort of between $3,000 and $6,000.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, and those were the ones that the enthusiasts would be looking at the most to see whether it was worth dropping that kind of hard-earned cash on this kind of system.
Yeah. Especially if they're buying it online, they don't get the opportunity to actually like open it, look through it, see what the
Right.
quality is. So they really need that consultation to make the buying decision. That makes a lot of sense. Um, so you also mentioned that there's some things that like courses versus physical products, and how with courses is kind of touchy and emotional. When you write a review of a course, the person may take it very personally, but you might not intend for it to be personal. So how did you find all of the sticky areas with writing reviews about courses? How did you find out about that?
That might have been somebody else. I've actually never written a review on a course.
But I remember you actually were the one that said that physical products you feel like it's more of a like um, I remember when we were having the conversation about it, and you were saying that it's less bias, it's more facts, benefits, features with physical product.
Uh, okay, yeah, of course. So when there's something intangible, this is something that I turn back to advertising. You know, you can with advertising, what you're selling is an intangible product. You're
Uh-huh.
selling an audience essentially, which is much like a course. You're selling knowledge and experience
Yeah.
without having to, hopefully, without the student having to take all the hard knocks along the way.
Right.
Um, I generally don't sell courses because it's very hard to tell which ones are legitimate. That they'd be the only time I'd sell a course would be if I'd already done it, such as Wealthy Affiliate, for
Yeah.
example. And you're really selling the end result, the feeling that the person gets when they've completed the course and that information is working for them. So if you wanted to learn music, you're selling that feeling of being on stage and perfectly nailing Pachelbel's canon or something.
Uh-huh.
Where if you're selling any course that promotes financial success, you're selling that feeling of being able to, walk into your brand new mansion or your Rolls Royce or anything like that, as opposed to here is the physical product you will get, which
Right.
has these things which you can touch and hold and use.
Yeah. So with a physical product, it's more like for a refrigerator, for example, you're being able to freeze your your items.
Well, there is that, but there's also the when you have a physical product, a brand new toy, you get this huge dopamine rush every time you look at it.
Okay.
You
But
know, you
you
get
think,
that all those happy chemicals start working for you when you're like, I love my new thing.
yeah.
Whereas when you're going to a course, you don't get that. You go, oh no, I have to go to class.
I think it depends on the person because some people
Well,
really
maybe.
do. Yeah, I really like taking courses. I really do. So,
Fair.
and just
I've
like
learned
getting,
I've learned to like it.
okay, that's cool. So, we talked about mindset related things and prioritization. I want to move on
That was a
into
huge one for me.
prioritization. So when you started in your business, did you have other priorities that you had to work on? Or did you have other responsibilities that you had to balance between?
Yeah, sure. Well, I just moved over to Japan, so I didn't have a lot going on outside of work,
Okay.
um, other than just checking out Tokyo, which is a really cool city. Uh,
Oh,
but
cool.
um,
But did you
yeah,
have to pay bills or?
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's
Okay.
not a cheap city. It's quite
Okay.
I'd put it on par with Sydney in terms of expensive,
I don't even
or
know how San
San
Francisco is.
Francisco level.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, pricey.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so I had that in terms of time. I had responsibilities to the company that I had been working for that I was now contracting to.
Uh-huh.
So I had to make sure I was making the phone calls and sending the emails to still keep writing business for them,
Okay.
which was also my main income. So those were
Okay.
the responsibilities I was juggling.
Yeah.
I ended up having to create a system for myself where I would do a certain amount of time on my day job in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then a certain amount of time in freelancing, and then a certain amount of time in building an affiliate marketing site.
So how did you do that? Like, how did you
Trial
juggle
and error.
that? Trial and
Trial.
error?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I set myself. Eventually, I ended up finding this sweet spot where I'd set. I think it was. I can't really remember. I've written it down somewhere actually. The system I used. I have this whole pie chart of how much time I can spend on any given task, but I don't need to use it anymore. But it was something like 3 to 4 hours on my day job, and then like 2 to 3 hours freelancing. And between the two of those, that ended up being a reasonable income. And it still gave me a few hours in the day to work on my own project, which at that time was the affiliate marketing beer and brewing side.
Very cool. So did you set like notifications or something so that you would switch tasks and make sure that you didn't overdo one area? Because for me, like when I
They
start
were,
working
they were
on a
my
web.
rules. I was allowed to break them.
Okay. So you weren't super hard on yourself um about that.
No, the point of not having a boss anymore is to stop people being hard on you.
I think I think maybe I
I
might
mean,
be
you get
better.
harder on yourself. You get harder on yourself by like over time, but no,
Yeah.
you've got to try and remind yourself to take it easy at some points.
Yeah. Yeah. I might need some
You must be
take it
feeling the
easy.
same. You're doing a lot with your time.
But I honestly like I'm always thinking I should be doing more. So
It's a trap to fall into. I've had family and friends tell me to stop working at 10 p.m. on a Sunday. You know, just no, stop.
do you think it's because you enjoy the work, or do you have like a goal or a target that you're trying to meet? What makes you stay like incentivized to keep going?
Uh, there are certain goals. So one of them is a financial goal I have of hitting a certain revenue level from the two websites I'm currently running.
Hmm.
Um, and another one is the amount of time that I want to spend per day. So whilst I'm working to try and hit that baseline, I'm also trying to get my system running itself to a certain degree so that I've only
Yeah.
got a certain number of hours per day I'm putting into it, because there's other things that I want to do next. Uh, so
Yeah.
those, so when I've got my tasks coming in from various apps or emails or things, I'm running through those, trying to clear them as fast as I can, so I can then work on improving the system so that I can then work on not working on it as much anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like a science by itself.
I'll
So
let you know if I crack it.
do you do you outsource?
Yeah, I have a team of two in my content team, and
Okay, cool.
I did outsource sales for a while, but I can't really afford salespeople on my level. Unfortunately, I'm quite a valuable salesperson, and anyone less than my skill set is more than I can afford. Um, so what I'm going to add next is a fulfillments person. And so in advertising, fulfillments is when somebody's contracted your services.
Uh-huh.
When you actually put up their advertisement, that advertisement is fulfilled. So that takes quite a bit of my time. So I need to train somebody to do that part for me, which
Okay,
will
very cool.
probably save about 3 to 4 hours a day.
Oh, that's cool. So for your content team, is that writers, editors? Is that
I still do the editing myself,
okay?
but yeah, I have two writers who are just sort of getting to that point where I call them journalists.
Okay, cool. Cool. So, um, did when you started your business, did you have a social circle that was like supportive and said, you know what, Jesse, you are gonna rock this, like go for it? Or did you have to build that over time from like, you know,
I My social circle still doesn't understand what I do.
yeah.
Yeah, I get when people had asked me what I'm doing or I try to describe it, they sort of go a little bit blank and go, "Okay, cool." So it wasn't that they weren't supportive; they had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. So they don't understand about online business, or is it that they don't understand online business in general, or they don't understand how you're monetizing or the business you have?
Yeah, the core concepts. I've recently started trying to explain it as like it's a magazine that's online, so it's free, but people pay to advertise in the magazine. That's the way I'm trying to explain it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean that sounds like it's coming along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm at the point now where the ecosystem within my niche is all the
Uh-huh.
support that I really need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's one of the things that I found quite interesting is that my niche is a topic that I wasn't really familiar with to begin with, but I've ended up becoming in the Australia New Zealand region. My company's become the foremost independent resource on this topic. Um,
That's a super cool niche. So,
yeah.
so how did you exit out of the brewing, affiliate marketing, freelancing? What was the journey to get to starting or buying a company that's already owned and starting to run that? Can you bridge the gap?
Yeah, absolutely. So I moved away from Japan because I got an offer of a brewery to become the brewmaster at a brewery in China, uh, so I jumped over to China.
But
I'd left
wait,
the franchise. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
how did you get your name established in the brewing market well enough that they wanted you to leave Japan to go to China? Like this is sounding like a fairy tale.
How many hours do we have? I know. I mean, I guess the quick way to say it is when I start doing something and I like it, I keep doing it until I'm good at it.
Okay.
And even then I don't think I'm good at it and I have to keep going because yeah, it's the worst thing that can ever happen to me is I start enjoying a hobby.
But that's actually a good place to be, you know, be- because you're doing something you really enjoy. So you started doing this hobby that you really enjoyed enough that you mastered it. And so,
I wouldn't say I've mastered it. There's definitely better brewers out there, but I'm all right.
well, you got to a certain point where somehow your name got established and you went from Japan to China because of
That's
brewing
right.
here.
Now,
Wow.
in that time, I realized that I was going to have to leave the company that I was contracting to. I was
Uh-huh.
going to have to stop doing that because I wouldn't have enough time. So, but I kept the freelancing because that way I could decide how many hours I could or couldn't put towards that, and I
Mhm.
kept that as my backup. I'd been in China before. I knew that there was strong chances of things going drastically wrong. So I kept the freelancing and affiliate marketing as kind of side hustles / backup. And one
Yeah.
of those customers, those freelance customers, decided that they wanted me to get more involved with the business and become their official B2B salesperson,
Okay.
or as we like to call it, campaign development manager.
So were you
Um,
doing that, were you doing sales related things as a
that's right.
freelancer? Is
So
that how they, okay.
as a freelancer, I was doing a bunch of things. I was doing a lot of the back end web stuff that I'd learned on Wealthy Affiliate, but
Okay.
uh, I really like commissions. So doing the sales stuff was working out.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, while I was doing that, I was using the same things I'd learned from the franchising company or the franchise media company in how to develop and put together a comprehensive campaign plan for a customer, and then sell it to them. So I was just applying that, and I spent the next 3 years doing that, side by side with brewing in China until eventually the brewing thing crashed and died several times over, and I decided it was time to come home. At roughly that same point, the uh, the brand that I had been working for, that I picked up freelancing, had been trying to sell the company for a while and couldn't sell it because it had gotten to a certain point where they were like, well, we believe this is how much it's worth now. This is our exit strategy. Couldn't sell it and decided, well, we're tired. We'll just close the doors. And at that point, I made them an offer which worked out extremely well for both parties. They gave me a 2-month support period during the changeover. And so that was the fastest learning curve I think I've ever been a part of.
Wow.
Um, so at that point, that's where it became my own media company. Does that fill in the gaps for you?
Yeah, it does. So
Right.
you bought a company that was already operating, and then you had 2 months to learn how to operate it, and
Right.
then run it on your own. Wow.
That's right. And there were some interesting things that I changed around to actually make it, in my opinion, slightly better.
Hmm.
Certainly revenue's been improving since I've been putting myself to it full time, even with several catastrophic mistakes I made. That was 1 year ago, almost exactly. Well, that was November 2018. So since then,
So
there've been some huge mistakes, but a few really good insights that I learned, which have managed to keep it kind of slowly but steadily increasing.
that's awesome. So with the new business, the like, is it several different revenue streams, or is brand deals and sponsorships the main bread and butter?
That's the bread and butter. That's almost exclusively what it is now. And unlike affiliate marketing, I can, I'm not sure exactly where the cap is, but I can see that there is going to be a cap at a certain point,
Okay.
which is, which is for me why I want to go back to affiliate marketing. That plus, I think the Australian dollar is going to tank in the next few years, and I'd like to be earning some US dollars as well as the Australian dollar revenue. Um, and so I do want to be getting back to affiliate marketing, which means one of my huge focuses right now is less on increasing revenue and more on freeing up time so that I can
Yeah.
then work on those alternative revenue streams, because
Yeah.
they'll take quite a while before they start earning.
Right. That's smart. So,
I learned
so
that from
with
someone else.
you said what?
I learned that from someone else,
What
that
to diversify?
to focus on the diversification. I'm not sure where I learned that, but that's been on my mind a long time.
Yeah.
The working on spending less time earning the same amount of money rather than spending more time earning more money. That
Yeah.
was that was a mindset that I learned from a friend of mine in China who he works harder and longer than anyone I know, and it's working for him. But the way he approaches it is to
Hmm.
try and focus on how much free time he can earn himself.
Hmm. I'll have to
And it
think
means
more
that
about that one.
well, it's quite a weird one. It seems counterintuitive. It's turning the way you work backwards, but you almost instantly start noticing results. When you're focused on the time rather than the money, you start making more money in less time.
That's interesting.
It was a shock to me to see it work in practice.
I think that's the concept behind 4 Hour Work Week and the Work Smart, right?
Haven't read them.
I haven't either, but
I haven't
but
read them, but I'm trying to work towards it.
I know that the movement is basically about working smart instead of working hard, and automating things and um, basically learning how to maximize the use of time instead of feeling like you have to outwork or out like slave yourself in order to make good money.
So team building comes into that hugely, and it's been one of my biggest
Yeah.
challenges, in that I'm not accustomed to building and managing a whole team within digital marketing. I'm used to being a what's the word, lone wolf, I guess.
Okay.
So that's been a huge challenge, and the systems that you put in place are what really frees up your time. So you've got to make sure you're not being a horrible person to the people that are working with you.
Right.
But you've also got to have systems in place that make it easier for them to do what they want to, what you want them to do in the most comfortable and least time consuming way for them.
Yeah. So, do you find doing things like training manuals or lots of emphasis on training helpful?
I took a leaf out of your book, actually, training videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah. So
think yeah,
my SEO guidebook for my content team is all video based, and I haven't started looking for my fulfillments person yet, but I've just completed a course of training videos on how to use all of the systems for fulfillments.
very cool. I know that is like step one in delegating, and I think a lot of people try to delegate too early because they just want to abdicate, is what Michael Gerber calls it, where they want to give the task away. They're sick of having it, so they just want the expert to just come and take it off their hands. But if you do that, a lot of times that's where like all kinds of problems can come in. But instead, if you provide the training, provide the oversight, and you can maintain continuity in the company and growth. So I
Well, and in
definitely,
fact,
you
yeah,
still want?
agreed. I mean, in fact, if you haven't done your time on those tools yourself, the training that you're providing is going to be substandard anyway.
Right. And also, you won't have loyalty. People can sense, they can sniff it out if they're being used. And it
Yeah,
kind of feels like you're being used you if you're coming into a company that's not built. It doesn't have any
yeah,
reason why, any unique selling proposition on its own, and you're kind of bringing that to the company, then people can sniff that. And at
sure.
some point, they start to feel like, I made this company. I made it. You didn't have anything before I got here.
Yeah, then you end up getting bought out by one of your freelancers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. So, how do you get leads for brand deals and sponsorships? Is that like, how does the funnel work? Is it the same with affiliate marketing where you're writing content, you're monetizing, or how does the funnel work differently?
So I've got two different types of funnels.
Okay.
One is the one that my audience goes through before buying something from one of my advertisers. So that's where the skills from affiliate marketing come into play much more. So knowing what happens between someone searching a certain key phrase to the
Mm-hmm.
point where they have gone through everything you've offered them, to the point where they make a decision to reach out to a customer.
Okay.
At that point, in most cases, it's now my advertiser's job to close that deal.
Okay.
Although if I'm doing an even better job, I'll have further points of follow up and contact with the audience member to keep them in the pipeline on behalf of my advertisers.
Okay.
The sales life cycle for my advertisers is quite a different kettle of fish. That's more traditional B2B. So I've done a lot of time over the past few years doing cold calling, outbound sales, email prospecting, and so on. Um,
Okay.
those aren't necessarily very fun unless you've cut your teeth in a sales background already.
Yeah.
You've got to have already, it takes a lot of rejections before you're comfortable picking up the phone and calling someone you've never spoken to before.
Yeah.
What really helps is the fact that we've done all of that work previously over the past 10 years to become the leading resource in this area. So a lot of people have already heard of me, and those that haven't can find out about me quite easily.
Okay.
Generally, what will happen is quite often people will come to me because they've seen me. I have the Australian user groups and various events in Australia where I'm the official media partner. So they'll have seen me there and gone, "Hey, if you are the media in this space, how do we reach out?" And I'll say, "Well, let's talk about that."
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I don't need to do so much of that cold calling and prospecting anymore, because now most of the business ecosystem is aware of me, and I'm aware of most of them.
Yeah.
But that took 10 years for the company that I'm with and 4 years for myself to get to that point.
Okay. But basically, because your niche is more of like a professional organization, so it's like an industry. It's really prized in the industry. So but generally speaking, like if it's a fitness website or something like that, and it's mostly monetized by affiliate marketing, and they want to get into having brand deals and sponsorships, would you say that the funnel would be similar to the one you have now, or?
Extremely similar. Extremely
Okay.
similar. So for the first part, you'd need to just continue what you're doing with affiliate marketing. You need to keep that content machine going,
Uh-huh.
because that's how it's all about the audience. When you're selling advertisements, you're
Uh-huh.
not really selling a bunch of ones and zeros on a website. What you're selling is the people that are visiting your website. You you need to become an authority, or at least highly viewed within your niche, in order for anyone that you're going to approach with an advertising deal to find value in you as the representative in your niche.
Okay.
So that part is exactly the same as with affiliate marketing. You need to keep that content going. You need to make it valuable content. You need people to be reading. And as your audience grows and you've got that email list of people that want to hear more, you've got people checking back regularly to see what they can find in your, for example, fitness niche,
Uh-huh.
then you can start going to Anytime Fitness or Fitness First. I don't know any American brands. Gold's Gym.
Yeah, those
They,
are all, Anytime Fitness is American.
okay.
They're here. Gold's Gym is here.
So if you look on their website and you find media inquiries, call here, and you email or pick up that phone and say, hey, I've just started this website, I think it's going to be great. They'll say, I'll give you $2 to not do the website or something, but if they answer your call at all.
Okay.
Whereas if you've got 10,000 people per month or more, and it's very specifically targeted. Say, for example, your fitness website is specifically for people on the keto diet, and what kind of exercises can you do that complement a keto diet.
Okay.
You've got to get really refined, and then you've got an audience that's worth targeting on behalf of advertisers. Now you can go to Anytime Fitness and say, are you running courses for people on the keto diet? What's the value of each person that signs up to Anytime Fitness? If we do the math here, and we can get you an estimated or a projected 3 people per month, what's the lifetime value of their subscription, or of their membership? And then you can start working out what kind of value that advertiser would have in your audience.
Wow, that was a great. You pretty much gave us a script right there.
Well, and that's the way it works. Advertisers care about ROI. That's return on investment.
Yeah.
So they spend $1,000 today. In 3 months' time, how many people have purchased their product or service, and is that more or less than $3,000? So you've got to work it backwards. If I've got 10,000 people that have seen your ad, and 80% of them straight away left the funnel, but 20% went to the next stage to find out more information. And from those 20%, we've shrunk it down to 5% who've gotten to the I'm ready to make an inquiry stage. And from that 5%, there's one who's gone, I want to buy something. And so you've got, let's say, 1% of 10,000, you've got 100 people that have said, I want to buy something. So from there, if you're selling I guess a course not a course, an exercise program, personal trainer, and that's going to work out to $100 over the lifetime, the average lifetime of a person's membership. That's 100 people just spent $100. They've just made $10,000. You can quite happily ask them for $3,000 to $5,000.
So, wow. You just gave a lot of information. And so that you gave me a lot to think about. Thank you.
That's all right. That's what typical B2B sales funnels look like. You
Yeah.
like about between 5 and 10 years ago, that sales funnel was just everywhere in the B2B ecosystems across Australia, at least, of saying, here's 100% funneling down to 1% who's the person who buys from you. So now we need to get in front of these 100% of people in this area.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people who are starting websites, and they're thinking about subscribers, followers, all of these things. Are those the important metrics for advertisers?
Absolutely. Page views. So what they want to know is the audience details. So they'll want to know how many people are on your website, how many people view your social media posts, how many people are on your subscriber list. Those are the real money makers. People
The
who've given
email
you their
list?
email are, yeah, the money really is in the list. People who've given you their email will be, at some point, they wanted to hear more, and they will be getting your emails. If an advertiser has the right subject line for each individual person, they'll go, oh, I will open this one.
Yeah.
And they've got, 5 more seconds to engage the person. And that 5 seconds is where you make your money.
Yeah.
The other details I want to know are like click-through rates. You'll also get asked quite a lot about cost per lead or cost per sale. And when you're starting out in advertising, you won't know, because you need a lot of customer feedback on, well, we got 20 leads and we spent $2,000. So that's $100 a lead. In Australia, $100 a lead is a good benchmark. So 80 to $120 Aussie dollars per lead is generally where a B2B advertiser is happy spending. In B2C, in other words, business to consumer, it's probably going to be quite a lot lower, because the average sale price is going to be lower. So they'll be wanting, for that $2,000, they'll be wanting 40 leads. You won't know that value until you've had a few customers and then asked them how many leads did you get, or you've sent them leads directly and you know how many you've sent them, and you can start calculating your average cost per lead. But those are the things they want to know. How does my dollars translate into number of people who bought something?
Yeah, of course. So, would you say that engagement is more important than the actual follower counts? Um, do they look for comments on your posts or responses to your emails, or get engagement factors?
Absolutely. Is it more important? No, it's all part of the same thing. You're not going to get a high level of engagement if you have a low level of traffic.
Yeah.
So if you've got 80% engagement ratio of 20 people, who gives a shit? But you can edit things, right? Let me try that again. If you've got a high engagement ratio with a low audience count, so 80% engagement on 20 people that have actually gone to your website, no one's going to care about that.
Yeah.
So it's part of the same thing. But yes, they are focused on engagement. I've never had anybody ask me about comments on my website. I think that's because I'm not an affiliate marketer on those websites. It's news.
Yeah.
So not so much comments. In terms of how many people are opening and clicking on links in emails, that's very important. People are very interested in that. And kind of click rates on display advertising, those kind of things. So engagement's what the clients will ask about more, but you still need to be aware of audience numbers yourself.
Yeah. So, do you think that there's a good practice of like tracking conversion and all that stuff before? What would you say is good to start to prepare for being able to give information to advertisers?
First and foremost, build your subscriber list. That's the most important thing.
Build the email.
And then, yeah, absolutely. Build your email list. People that are subscribed to emails or push notifications or any other way that you can keep them notified of things you want them to be notified of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important part. Build up that subscriber list. And from there, you can always measure what the open rates are or the click rates are. So any system that allows you to capture audience data will already have those numbers for you. So when somebody asks you about them, or when you're building out your media kit, you'll be able to present that information right away.
Okay, very cool. So, what do you think are the signs that you're ready to start pitching for? Because you're saying that is an outbound thing. Like we actually go and pitch to advertisers, and the advertisers respond to us. What do you think is a good metric to say, I'm ready to start looking for advertisers and sponsors?
Okay. There'll be a few. One, you'll start getting a huge amount of spam, and you want to not be looking at the spam that says, "Let me improve SEO for you." You'll be
Yeah,
wanting to look for spam that says, "Can I do a guest post?" And when you're getting a lot of those, you know that people are starting to find value in your website as an authority. When people are reaching out to you for that kind of thing, "Can I do a guest post?" basically means, "Can I advertise on your website for free?" When
yeah,
people are starting to ask you, "Can I advertise for free?" that's when you know you can start charging for it.
yeah.
Um, Another good one is to just test a little bit with, say, Google Ads or anything on the site, and see if you're getting revenue through that. If so, you can do better by going direct to the advertisers. Once you've got a subscriber list of at least 1,000 email addresses, that's another good starting place. So if you're anywhere over 1,000, you'll be able to find someone, even if they have a low budget, that may find value in using your services. Any less than 1,000, people will think you're just brand new and hopeful. Um, if you're getting several thousand hits per month on your website, that's a great one as well. But hits on your website only really counts if you're quite niche specific. If you have a very, like, a kind of a variety website where you're just doing whatever topics take your interest, and you're getting tens of thousands of visitors, it'll be hard to narrow down an advertiser that's going to find value in that audience, because that audience is made up of people on a very diverse range of topics.
Okay. So you really want to niche down. So,
Absolutely.
so for example, going back to the fitness example, would you say that we should niche down into age groups, or would you say we should niche down into like sub niches like supplements versus workouts versus, or what would you say would be
That's
the direction to go?
very much those sub niches, although I'd call them areas of interest.
Okay.
Um, because you could go by age groups. Basically, if you're looking at getting advertisers on board, you've got to think about uh, who those advertisers would be. So are you looking for people marketing towards the elderly community, or are you looking for people marketing toward, like, that sell supplements to everybody? Who do they want to sell to?
Okay.
So those areas of interest I find more valuable. That's why mine is so specific and niche. It's just that one particular ecosystem. And it means that it's quite easy to become the authority in that area compared to something that's more broad, like fitness in general.
Right.
So yeah, like supplements for workouts
Or
would be
technology.
much more niche.
Whoa.
Yeah. In which case you'd start potentially selling, wearables, or you could even be selling the exercise bikes or something, or your advertisers could be like targeting businesses rather than targeting consumers.
Yeah. Very cool. So, and what would you say is the best place to start with finding uh, relevant advertisers?
Look up the companies that are already selling to someone. So if you're, for example, if you wanted to start up a bead store, you wouldn't go and buy some beads at the bead store and then try and start a bead store. You'd go and find the bead store's suppliers and then ask them for a deal. You could even start selling to your bead store. So it's kind of the same thing. You want to find out who's supplying the people that are going to be your customers, or say your local gym. You want to find out who's supplying your local gym, or possibly who owns it, what networks are they a part of, what sites do they have themselves listed on, where are they currently advertising. And from there, you can start just digging through to find out who's in charge of sales, who's in charge of marketing, who's in charge of media inquiries. And from there, you can get phone numbers, email addresses, and start making the calls.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what would you say as far as the potential with affiliate marketing versus the potential with brand deals and sponsorships? I know you mentioned earlier that it's a cap. Um, would you say there's more growth potential with brand deals and sponsorships, or would you say affiliate marketing has more of an uncapped potential?
Um, Affiliate marketing has more potential for a team of just, less than 5 people. So if it's just one person, or it's one person plus a writer or something along those lines, affiliate
Mhm.
marketing has higher has unlimited potential. If you're building a team, then B2B advertising also has uncapped potential. For myself right now, with a small team, I'm limited by the amount of space on my website and number of times per week I can send emails to the same groups.
Okay.
So to grow in that advertising space, I'd need to add inventory. In other words, get another sub niche or something like that and start building out a new site, a new email list. And for those things, I'd need a larger team so that there were people that could handle all of the parts of that. And that's where you get a company growth rather than a single revenue stream growth.
Okay. Okay. Very cool.
So let me answer that more succinctly. If you're not planning to have a team, then affiliate marketing has higher potential.
Uh-huh.
If you are forming a company with a team, then it's much of a muchness.
Okay. And uh, in terms of like income potential, I know that there's affiliate marketers who have income reports that say they're making hundreds of thousands per month. Do you think that same income potential applies to brand deals and sponsorships? What
Some of the richest companies in the world are advertising companies.
Okay,
It's yeah, it's massive. I mean, look, think about Fox or anything like that. Those are
the news company?
yeah. So the Super Bowl, they make a huge amount of money just based, like the entire income basically is from advertising, and then there's a certain amount which is from people watching the actual game.
Yeah, right. And
So advertising has massive potential for
yeah.
millions and millions of dollars per whatever period of time.
Um, in terms of websites, do you have like some examples of like really successful websites or income reports or something like that that um, we can go and look at?
I have to put some thought into it and find some that'd be appropriate. But yeah,
Okay.
sure. I don't know if I want to share my income reports, but
Yeah,
I can.
I'm not saying share yours. I know.
Well, and then asking, I'm not sure who to ask if I was going to find somebody else's. I
Yeah.
know. Look, you could look at the old franchisebusiness.com.au. I used to work for them, and they turn over quite a large amount of money just on one website. Um, and they manage that by having listings available. So you can list your franchises available for sale by location, by price, by industry, which means that they have far less of a cap on earning potential.
Mhm.
And they've been very successful for a number of years.
Very cool.
By very successful, I mean they're doing millions and millions per year off the back of a single website and mailing list.
Yeah. Very cool. I know I've seen people who um, stack revenue models and are able to, like, even small businesses, like a team of 5 or less, and they're able to get past 7 figures because they have like affiliate marketing and possibly brand deals and sponsorships and other revenue streams added together. Um, so I do know that there's lots of potential in that revenue model.
Absolutely. But stacking is where I'm moving towards now. So that's why I'm trying to free up so much time at the moment, is so that I can do that without having to sacrifice the quality or the income from any one stream.
Yeah. Um, I,
Um,
I like what Grant Cardone says. He says that in order to make multiple streams of income, you take the stream of income that you have, the primary one, and you make that stretch as far as it can go, and then you start building other ones. So I think that with affiliate marketing, you definitely can grow that a lot. But I think that you can also increase the amount of money you make for the traffic that you have by stacking different revenue models like brand deals and sponsorships. So I think that's
Absolutely.
a great one to stack on top of affiliate marketing or even e-commerce or a SaaS business.
In fact, I would suggest that if anybody was just starting out and thinking about direct advertising as an income, I would suggest starting off with e-commerce or even better affiliate marketing to begin with, because you're going to be already building out those skills and knowledge and an audience,
Yeah.
so that you'll then be able to start at a certain point once your workflows are all moving, your content machine's running. Then you'll be able to start saying, okay, here's the direction I'm going to take moving towards advertising. But you've already got that revenue stream
Right.
either coming in like a flood or trickling away or something, but you've already got a base to start from.
Right. Right. I think that's very cool. I think you've given so much information in this interview, and like I'm thinking about media kits and I'm thinking about all of the milestones, and even for people that I work with, like my referrals, what at what point I can start to direct them along the path of adding other revenue models. So you've given me a lot to think about, and I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. If I can leave you with one takeaway for anybody before starting to move towards advertising, it's get a brand and get a mission statement.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
discovered over the past 2 years that having a brand, even if it's not a very good brand, you've seen my brand, it's not particularly fancy, but having a brand and having a mission statement were like lightning bolt moments for me, where just like having those two things locked down made a huge difference without me being able to say why or how they worked.
Yeah. Do you think it's because I mean, it seems like you take what you do more seriously, or um, it it just seems like more value, I guess. I know
The
that
brand is just because it gives people something to recognize. The
yeah,
mission statement is because it's quicker than a business plan for referring back to when you're doing something. Go, wait, is this helping me?
yeah.
Okay, no, I forgot my mission statement.
I know even beyond brand deals and sponsorships, if you keep going in that direction, affiliate marketing, then brand deals and sponsorships, then licensing, once the brand becomes really valuable, then you can go in the direction of licensing. But I think branding is so important because it goes on your balance sheet.
Yeah,
Like over
yeah,
time, it
yeah,
goes on
for
your
sure.
balance sheet.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so what projects are you working on now, and where can we find more information about you?
The best place to find more information on me now is on Wealthy Affiliate. I'm not too forthcoming with my brand outside of people like yourself, just because the reason I'm successful is because I'm the only one in my region doing it.
Yeah.
So the Wealthy Affiliate platform for now is the best place to find more information. I'm working on trimming down the amount of time I spend to get the same result on my current assets,
Yeah.
so that I can then implement a new, a new marketing engine made by digital nomads like myself for digital nomads.
Very cool.
And that, and something like yourself, that means that I then end up creating a network of assets that support each other and each hold their own value standalone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely my long-term goal too, is to build several digital assets because I just think that the internet is continuing to grow. It's growing so fast, and the level of influence that people online have um, is growing. And I think that I I feel strongly about like uh, um, good character and values and stuff like that. And I just want this next generation to have that too.
Oh,
So
they'll be miles ahead of us. They'll be
yeah,
miles ahead of us. They are
yeah,
content junkies.
they are. I know. I even my 3-year-old knows how to use my phone and knows how to
Oh yeah.
navigate and find what she wants. But that's the reason why I feel like so strongly about having good stuff for her to find. Like if the good
And teaching them how to
out,
be the one making it, I think, is key.
yeah, I agree. Being a creator instead of a consumer, yeah, I think that's important too. But I mean, like, not just my kids, but there's other people's kids. And it's so easy to get access to good and bad information that I just feel like it's like something we should be conscious of is to be creating good information for the coming generations. So, yeah, that's something I feel passionate about. But
Sure, sure.
um, so very cool. Did you want to share your username where people can find you at Wealthy Affiliate if they want to?
Oh yeah, R Kingsley.
Okay, cool.
The
So definitely, if you want to get to know or meet or ask more questions, then Art Kingsley is very knowledgeable about brand deals and sponsorships. I think you gave a lot to think about, and I really appreciate you showing how all of these different revenue models can work together and when to know you're ready for brand deals and sponsorships. Um, I had one last question that I forgot
sure.
to ask you. And you know how affiliate marketing, you have affiliate networks where you can find a bunch of affiliate programs and advertisers. Do they have something like that? Have you noticed something like that with sponsorships?
Not specifically, no, because companies get cold called all the time. So putting your details up saying, hey, I'm looking for somewhere to advertise will result in your phone exploding. Um, so there are places to find lists of people in certain industries, but
Mhm.
you have to get a bit more creative with your searching than just looking up an affiliate network.
Yeah. So do you think like that our advertisers who we get good commissions from with affiliate marketing might be further interested in sponsorships as well?
Uh, Possibly less so. You want to find people that don't have a strong network. I mean, if you take Amazon for an example, you might see them advertising Amazon Prime or something like that, but you never really see them advertising the Amazon website anymore
Yeah.
because they've got
So
thousands,
again,
or I'm not sure how many people already promoting them.
yeah, that's true.
If you do want to look up how that works, look up Jeff Bezos's flywheel rather than sales funnel. He's got a sales flywheel. It's amazing.
Yeah, I definitely will look that up. So I really appreciate you doing the interview with me and answering all my questions. I have heard of some like networks, like the Sway is one, but a lot of the networks that I've heard of for sponsorship seem to be geared towards parenting and mommy blogger niches. Um, but that's a whole
Which can
different
be very lucrative though.
mommy blogger niches.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
They can be hugely lucrative.
yeah, yeah. So that's all I have for this video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this where I do product and service reviews as well as growth strategies to help you grow a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise, then definitely subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you can be notified of upcoming videos. That's all I have for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.